I'm grateful to ETPrime for providing me the opportunity to address you today. The ETPrime Leadership Awards go a long way to encourage today's women aspire to reach the pinnacle of leadership with determination and courage. The clarity of purpose and informed approach which the present generation has is truly recommendable. However, despite the concerted efforts of corporates to increase the women representation and the Indian Company Act guidelines on women representation in boardrooms, the statistics paint a less than encouraging picture. Let's delve into the numbers. A study by Russell Reynolds Associates in December 23 reaffirmed the underrepresentation of women in Indian companies, particularly in higher positions. Only 10% of executive directors from the top 200 listed companies were women. Data from ENY's report from October 22 show that about 60% of Nifty 500 companies have just one woman board member and less than 5% have women as chairpersons. While Indian Company Act mandates the appointment of at least one woman on the board of directors of every listed company, compliance often seems driven by regulatory requirements rather than a genuine recognition of women's contribution. Russell Reynolds Associates have also, in the recent study, concluded the reason for less representation at senior levels is a complex answer encompassing opportunity, bias, cultural norms, and individual motivation. It states that women are more likely to underestimate their potential, express loyalty to an organization, and feel deep ties to their workplace, hence more unlikely to make a career move. Furthermore, let's debunk some myths surrounding women's leadership. Study shows that gender disparity in promotion rates rather than in hiring are the primary barrier to women's advancement into senior management roles. The McKinsey Women at Workplace 2023 report also busts the myth of glass ceiling. It proposes that in reality, the broken rung, that's the first crucial step to becoming a manager, is the greatest barrier women face on the path to senior leadership. Also, women may not be given challenging roles, mainly in the manufacturing sector, for several reasons, many of which are rooted in systemic biases and stereotypes. Hence, in most cases, when you're looking out to select a woman in a board level position, the pipeline of eligible women is just not there. Situation is slightly better in the service sector like finance and tech than the manufacturing sector. Various systemic biases affecting decisions are gender bias. The deep-seated gender bias may lead decision makers to perceive women as less capable or suitable for challenging roles, despite evidence to the contrary. The bias can manifest in hiring, promotion, and assignment decisions. Then you have stereotyping. Stereotypes about gender roles and ability can influence perception of women's competency in certain roles or industry. For example, women may be stereotyped as more nurturing or less assertive, leading to their exclusions from roles perceived as requiring competitiveness or assertiveness. Lack of representation is also a major issue. The male-dominated industry or leadership teams, women may face barriers to accessing challenging roles due to a lack of representation and advocacy. Without visible role models or mentors, it becomes difficult for women to envision themselves in challenging positions or for decision makers to recognize their potential. Then you have the unconscious bias. Decision makers may harbor unconscious biases which affect the perception and evaluation of women's performance and potential. These biases can lead to the underestimation of women's ability and the exclusion from challenging opportunities. Workplace culture also is important. Organizational culture that prioritize long hours, face time, or assertive communication style may inadvertently disadvantage women who may face additional responsibilities outside of work, such as caregiving or household duties, more so in the initial years of her career when she needs to establish herself in a profession also. Then there's lack of support. Women may face systemic barriers to accessing resources, network, and support necessary for succeeding in challenging roles. For example, they may receive less mentorship, sponsorship, or development opportunities compared to their male counterparts. And very important is the fear of failure. Women may also internalize societal expectations and stereotypes, leading to self doubt and the feeling that they will not be able to accept challenging roles. Addressing these barriers require a considered efforts to challenge biases, promote gender diversity, inclusions, provide mentorship and support, create inclusive work cultures where all employees have equal opportunity to pursue challenging roles and advance their career. Ensuring promotion opportunities for women involves implementing proactive strategies and policies aimed at addressing gender biases and creating a more inclusive workplace. Various policies have been implemented in corporates to bring in more gender diversity, like equal opportunity policy, diverse hiring and promotion panels, training and development programs, mentorship and sponsorship, flexible work arrangement, pay equity, leadership development and initiatives. Many corporates have these policies already implemented, but results are not as expected. Now the question is why? Recently, I have had the privilege to listen to one of the successful women of the self help group under the National Rural Livelihood Mission, which was truly inspiring. She was a community resource person, that is a CRP, who had been elevated from poverty. I say poverty, and now she is helping others. She speaks about the journey, the process of rural women coming together into their self managed institution, receiving a lot of training, being exposed to new information and ideas, being able to access financial resources for meeting the needs of the families. All these have been extremely empowering for the women. From freeing them from the clutches of the local moneylenders to giving them a status and identity in the society and family, and in many cases, being elected to the local self help government bodies, these institutions have resulted in social, economical, and political empowerment of women. Women have been managing these institutions themselves, including the loaning and the repayment, maintaining proper accounts, getting it properly audited, etc. If you analyze this as a case study, it becomes clear that the success here is for the following reasons. That is, believing in the cause by both the members of the self-help group and the implementing nodal officers, and the belief that this is a necessity. It needs to be done. Secondly, the passion to achieve. Then you have implementable policies, supportive ecosystem, success stories, role models, and the first and the last mile connectivity. I find a lot of the solution to a problem of today, that is, how do we accelerate women's leadership beyond token representation, in the success story I just spoke on. And they are, first, the corporates need to believe that promoting gender diversity and equality benefits not only the individual employees, but also the organization as a whole, leading to greater innovation, productivity, and competitiveness. Hence, it is a necessity. Secondly, all involved should have the passion to bring about the change. There should be clear policies to support gender inclusivity. And as I mentioned earlier, many corporates already have such policies. To ensure that the policies are not just a piece of paper, the management or officials responsible should be passionate about bringing in gender inclusivity in all their decisions, promotions, placement, etc., and not just token in nature. Workshops may be held, best practices of other companies, learning from each other. All this will help bringing in the necessary change. Regular audit of the inclusivity goals, why the goals could not be achieved, what more can be done. Then you have women who have succeeded in each level and who are passionate to see other women succeed, can be role models for others, have sessions where they speak about their success stories, provide the necessary ecosystem of support. Then the mentors and sponsors which we have, they should be persons who believe in this cause. And most important, wherever challenging roles are denied because of social biases, which happens very frequently in the manufacturing sector, please speak out and give the confidence that you can, because these social biases are deeply rooted in our minds. So, when the management of corporates add passion to the objective of inclusive workplace, the implementation of strategy to foster a supportive and inclusive workplace culture and creating an environment where women have equal opportunities for promotion and career advancement will become much smoother. In conclusion, as we navigate the ever evolving landscape of leadership and diversity, let's pave the way for a future where women of all backgrounds can thrive and lead with confidence. Thank you so much.